Imagine spending years learning English, memorizing hundreds of words and grammar rules. But the moment someone speaks to you, your mind suddenly goes blank. Has that ever happened to you? What if I told you there's a technique that actors, interpreters, and even some of the world's best language learners use to improve their English faster? And the surprising part is, you don't need expensive courses or extraordinary talent. Stay with us, because by the end of today's episode, you'll discover.
Welcome to the Listening English podcast. I'm Jack.
And I'm Rose.
Today we are talking about one of the most powerful language learning methods in the world, the shadowing technique. If you've ever wondered how some people become fluent without living in an English-speaking country, this episode might answer that question.
I've actually heard the term shadowing many times on YouTube, but honestly, it sounds a little mysterious. Is it about copying someone? Is it only for advanced learners? Or is it something beginners can use too?
Those are exactly the questions we will answer today. We will explore what shadowing really is, why it works so well, and why many learners unknowingly practice it the wrong way. We will also reveal one common mistake that can slow down your progress without you even realizing it.
Now you've made me curious. I definitely don't want to be making that mistake.
And here's something even more interesting. Near the end of today's episode, I'll share a simple 5-minute shadowing routine that anyone can start today. It doesn't matter whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner. That routine has helped thousands of learners improve their listening, pronunciation, and speaking confidence.
5 minutes? That sounds almost too good to be true.
Sometimes the smallest daily habits create the biggest transformations. But before we get to that routine, we first need to understand what shadowing actually is. Once you understand the science behind it, everything starts to make sense.
I can't wait to learn. Let's get started. So, Jack, let's start with the most basic question. What exactly is the shadowing technique?
Great question, Rose. Shadowing is a language learning technique where you listen to a native English speaker and repeat what they say almost immediately. Just a second behind them, imagine you're someone's shadow. Wherever they go, you follow. Whatever they say, you repeat. That's why it's called shadowing.
Wait, so I'm not supposed to listen to the whole sentence first?
Exactly. That's the biggest difference. In normal practice, people listen, pause the audio, and then repeat. In shadowing, you listen and speak almost at the same time. Your brain is forced to process English much faster.
That sounds difficult.
It does in the beginning. Let me tell you a short story.
I'm guessing? David?
Exactly, because speaking is a skill, not just knowledge. Reading about swimming doesn't teach you how to swim. At some point, you have to get into the water. Shadowing is like jumping into the pool with a life jacket. It trains your ears, your mouth, and your brain together.
That's such a good example. I think many English learners, including me, spend too much time studying and not enough time speaking.
You're definitely not alone. Most learners believe, I'll start speaking after I become fluent, but fluency doesn't come first. Practice comes first.
So, what happens inside our brain when we use shadowing?
That's where it gets fascinating. When you shadow, your brain performs several tasks at once. First, it listens carefully. Then it recognizes the sounds. After that, it predicts the next words. Finally, your mouth copies the pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation.
So, my brain is getting a full workout.
Exactly, it's like going to a gym where every muscle is trained together instead of one at a time.
I've noticed that native speakers connect words together. For example, they don't always say, "What are you doing?" It sounds more like, "Whatcha doing?"
That's one of the biggest advantages of shadowing. English isn't spoken word by word, it's spoken in chunks and connected sounds. If you only study from textbooks, you might never develop an ear for those natural patterns.
That explains why I understand my English teacher, but sometimes struggle with movies or podcasts.
Exactly, and here's an interesting fact. Many professional interpreters use shadowing as part of their training because it improves concentration and listening speed.
Really? I thought it was just a trick for students.
Not at all, it's used by professionals too.
But Jack, here's something I've always wondered. Should beginners use shadowing? Sometimes I feel my English isn't good enough.
That's one of the biggest myths. People think shadowing is only for advanced learners. Actually, beginners can benefit the most. As long as they choose easy material,
What kind of material?
simple conversations, children's stories, beginner podcasts, short dialogues. If you understand about 70 to 80% of the content, it's perfect.
So I shouldn't start with a fast Hollywood movie?
Definitely not.
That's disappointing. I was ready to learn English from action movies.
Maybe one day, but imagine learning to ride a bicycle. You don't begin by racing down a mountain, you start on a flat road.
That makes sense.
Let me give you another example.
Synchronization.
Yes, matching the speaker's speed, rhythm, and stress. Over time, your pronunciation improves naturally.
That's actually less stressful than trying to sound perfect.
Exactly. Many learners stop speaking because they are afraid of making mistakes. Shadowing changes your focus. Instead of worrying about grammar, you're training your ears and mouth to work together.
So confidence grows naturally.
Yes, and here's something that surprises many people. Sometimes your speaking improves before you even notice it
How does that happen?
because your brain quietly stores language patterns. Then one day during a real conversation, the correct expression suddenly comes out without much thinking.
That sounds almost like magic.
It feels like magic, but it's actually consistent practice.
I'm curious about something else. Is it better to understand every single word before shadowing?
Excellent question. Surprisingly, no. Of course, understanding helps, but don't wait until you understand 100%. Your brain learns many pronunciation patterns simply by repeated exposure.
That's a relief.
Let me ask you something, Rose. When children learn their first language, do they understand every word immediately?
No, they hear the same words again and again until everything starts making sense.
Exactly, language learning works in a very similar way.
So repetition is the secret?
Repetition with attention. Simply playing English in the background while scrolling on your phone won't produce the same results. During shadowing, your attention is fully engaged,
I can already see why people recommend this technique.
and we are only getting started.
Now I'm even more curious. I have a feeling I've been practicing the wrong way all this time.
Maybe, maybe not. But after the next discussion, you'll know exactly what to avoid and how to make every minute of shadowing count.
Before we move on to the practical steps, you mentioned that many people practice shadowing the wrong way. Now I'm really curious. What are the biggest mistakes?
I'm glad you asked. Let's turn this into a little challenge. I'll mention a common habit, and you tell me whether you think it's helpful or harmful.
Sounds fun. Let's do it.
First habit, a learner chooses a 10-minute podcast and tries to shadow the entire thing on the first day.
That sounds productive, right?
Surprisingly, no. That's mistake number one, using content that's too long.
Really?
Yes, your brain learns through quality, not quantity. A 30-second audio clip repeated 5 or 6 times is often far more effective than struggling through 10 minutes once.
That's interesting. I always thought more is better.
More is only better when your brain can actually absorb it. Imagine watering a plant. A little water every day helps it grow. Pouring 100 liters on it once doesn't make it grow faster.
I love that example.
Here's mistake number two. Many learners speak louder than the audio because they are trying to prove they are speaking well.
Wait, I actually do that.
Most people do, but during shadowing, the speaker you're listening to is your guide. You should hear their voice clearly while matching their rhythm. If your own voice completely covers the audio, you lose important pronunciation details.
So instead of competing with the speaker, I should follow them.
Exactly, think of it as dancing with a partner instead of trying to lead every move.
That's a great way to think about it.
Now, let's talk about something that surprises almost everyone.
I'm ready.
Have you ever listened to an English sentence and thought, I know every word, but I still don't understand it?
All the time. I thought something was wrong with my memory.
Nothing is wrong with your memory. It's actually a psychological effect. Your brain recognizes individual words, but it hasn't learned to process them quickly enough as one connected stream.
So my vocabulary isn't always the problem.
Exactly. Listening speed and processing speed are two different skills. Shadowing trains both.
Wow, I've never thought about it that way.
Here's another fascinating insight.
Yes, sometimes people can sing an English song perfectly without realizing what every word means.
That's because repetition builds sound patterns in the brain. Shadowing works in a similar way, except instead of singing, you're practicing real conversations that you can actually use in daily life.
So our brain remembers sounds before it remembers rules.
Very often, yes.
That's amazing.
Let me tell you another story.
I think the second student.
Correct. At first, the first student felt excited because everything was new, but excitement isn't the same as progress. The second student allowed their brain to master one conversation before adding another.
So sometimes boredom is actually a sign that learning is happening?
Exactly. That's a hidden truth many learners never realize. When something feels familiar, your brain has more mental energy to notice pronunciation. rhythm, stress, and tiny details that you completely missed the first time.
That's incredible.
Here's another hidden truth.
That's almost the opposite of what most people believe.
Exactly. Think about riding a bicycle. You don't wait until you're confident before getting on the bike. Confidence arrives after many small rides.
So every shadowing session is like another ride on the bicycle.
Perfect analogy.
Is there a best time of day to practice shadowing?
There's no magic hour, but consistency matters much more than timing. 10 focused minutes every day will usually beat 1 hour once a week.
That actually makes the goal feel achievable.
It should. Language learning isn't about giant leaps, it's about tiny steps that quietly become giant results.
I have another question.
That's a very common feeling.
That's encouraging.
And here's one final insight before we move to the practical part.
I really like that idea.
In the next part, we are going to make all of this practical. I'll share a simple 5 minute shadowing routine, explain exactly what to do on day one, and reveal a small habit that can dramatically improve your listening and speaking within just a few weeks.
That's the part I've been waiting for. I can't wait to try it myself. Jack, we have talked about the science, the psychology, and the common mistakes. But I think everyone listening is wondering the same thing.
Perfect timing, Rose. Remember at the beginning of this episode, I promised to share a simple 5 minute shadowing routine.
Yes, I've been waiting for it.
Here it is. You don't need expensive software, special equipment, or hours of free time. Just your phone, a pair of earphones if you have them, and 5 focused minutes.
Only 5 minutes?
Yes, the key isn't practicing for a long time. The key is practicing consistently.
Okay, I'm listening.
Step one, choose the right audio.
Why so short?
Because your brain learns through repetition. If the audio is too long, you'll spend all your energy trying to keep up instead of improving.
That makes sense.
Step two, listen without speaking.
So first, I become a listener.
Exactly.
What's next?
Step three, start shadowing.
So it's okay if I make mistakes.
More than okay.
I think many people need to hear that.
Absolutely.
The same audio?
Yes.
That's exactly what I want.
And finally,
Why?
because now you'll notice details that you completely missed before.
I love that comparison.
Now let me share a simple weekly plan.
I like that it's simple.
Exactly.
What if someone only has 5 minutes a day?
Then practice for 5 minutes.
That's really motivating.
Here's another practical tip.
So learning becomes enjoyable instead of feeling like homework.
Exactly.
Only 3 things?
Yes.
That's incredible when you think about it.
Here's one final challenge for everyone listening.
I actually want to try that challenge myself.
That's wonderful.
I think that's the biggest lesson from today's episode.
Exactly.
Jack, today's conversation completely changed the way I think about learning English.
That's exactly the message I hoped everyone would take away.
My favorite lesson today was that confidence doesn't come before speaking.
I couldn't agree more.
That's really inspiring.
Beautifully said, Rose.
And don't forget, mistakes aren't signs of failure.
Exactly.
Thank you for listening to the Listening English podcast.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you in the next podcast.
Until next time, keep listening.
Keep practicing.
And most importantly,
Keep believing in yourself. Good night, everyone.
bye. Have a wonderful day and happy learning.